So, London, 13.12. Wer den Kanal noch nicht kennt, gerne abonnieren. Es geht los. Die Dame, die das angemeldet hat, sagt schon was. So, lieben Gruß aus London.
Massive assault on our rights, and it's been incredibly difficult to even get here today. So there's many different conditions. Fiona is at risk of arrest. It could even happen to me. Like, it's all going down. So as part of our conditions, we need to be in this spot. And at the end of the rally, we have got an amazing surprise that every single person is going to love. And that is why it's just so important that we stand up and we say no to digital ID, because the police have got more and more draconian. And I'm not talking about these people here, so I don't want anyone to, go up and abuse them, because that's just not helpful. People at the top who are making, because they follow orders. So I just want to say, for also legal reasons, we are peaceful today, but we are here to make a difference. So we need to use our voices to be heard. We need to shout, we need to scream, and we need to be peaceful today. There are a lot of other protests going on, so stick with us today. Thank you for coming, and let's move more this way, and let's start our chant. We say no to digital ID! 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 We say no!
Sagt mal kurz durch, ob der Ton so in Ordnung ist.
We say no to digital ID! 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 So the crowd stays here, we're just going to get our banner to the front, because I realised we're the wrong way round. So, we say no to digital ID! We say no to digital ID! We say no to digital ID! We say no to digital ID!
Ja, ich muss mal kurz die Kamera abstellen.
We say no!
neuen Troboliner.
We say no! Don't get me started on black. What a need to come.
Also schwarz-weiß gekleidet mit einem QR-Code auf dem Rücken. So, der Sound scheint in Ordnung zu sein. Da ist ja fast mehr Presse da als, als Teilnehmer. Okay, nicht ganz, aber sind schon sehr viele Leute mit Kameras oder ja, Leute da, die filmen. Ich hätte ehrlich gesagt ein bisschen mehr Leute erwartet. So, ich gehe mal da hinten rüber. Ja, der Verkehr wird hier halt nicht gestoppt. Das ist aber typisch London irgendwie. Das war auch bei den Free Assange-Protesten. Ja, da lief der Verkehr auch einfach neben der Demo weiter. So, nach dem kann ich mal rübergehen. Stelle ich mich mal da hoch. Ist David Icke da? Wird gefragt. Ich weiß es nicht. Ich habe ihn noch nicht gesehen. Gardenbolt ist seinen Helm verloren.
So the British government are bringing in I hear you, bud.
Wenn du ihn siehst, kannst du versuchen, ein Interview zu machen, Paul. Er hat das beworben, ich denke, er ist da. Ja, das habe ich auch vorgehabt, aber jetzt habe ich noch nicht gesehen. Es sind noch nicht so viele Leute da, das sind jetzt ein paar hundert. Also die letzten Demos, die ich hier in London gesehen habe, da waren es ja deutlich mehr. Es gibt eine Bühne, okay, ich kann mal gucken. Also ich weiß nicht genau, wie es hier ablaufen wird, ob die irgendwo eine Runde laufen oder ob die irgendwo hinlaufen und da wird es dann eine Bühne geben.
Also
die Polizei war hier, wo bis jetzt, was ich gesehen habe, sehr freundlich, gab hier auch keine Probleme. Aber das kenne ich halt auch von den Protesten am Gericht, wo es die Verhandlung von Julian Assange gab. Hier ist das BBC, ich glaube das Headquarter, also die Zentrale. Those who can make you believe absurdities can make you commit atrocities. Die Leute, die dich glauben machen, also Absurditäten glauben machen können, die können dich auch dazu bringen, gewaltsame Sachen zu machen. Wenn man bedenkt, dass ca. 65% der deutschen Bevölkerung die digitale Versklavung kaum abwarten kann. Ja, ja, Mr. Hamano, wie ist das in Japan?
Tyrannical measures like this through to get back in control. That's why they're pushing out, got to wear masks.
We do not comply. We do not comply. We do not comply.
Ja, ich hoffe, dass das noch ein bisschen mehr werden. Jetzt sind es vielleicht ein paar hundert, vielleicht so 300 maximal. Aber ich glaube, von den Demos her können die von den Deutschen noch einiges lernen mit irgendeinem Durchsagewagen oder so.
We do not comply! 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 We do not comply!
Ja, hier macht es, na okay, ist ein bisschen anheizen, aber sorry. Oh, der macht ein bisschen mehr Stimmung.
So now let's kick this thing off, because we need to get our energy right. We need to make sure that Babylon fears us. So now, if you're ready for some freedom, I got this track called Freedom for you guys, all you kings and queens and gods and goddesses. So now, if you're ready for some freedom, let me hear you say freedom. Let's go, Meta Science.
Jo, der macht ein bisschen mehr Stimmung als die da vorne.
Freedom! Meta Science! Freedom! Like a runaway slave! Freedom! Like I just got paid! Freedom! 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 Come on! Freedom! 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 Freedom again! Freedom! 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 Meta Science! Freedom! 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 Come on! Freedom! 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 Freedom again! Freedom!
Danke für deine Arbeit, Paul. Jo, danke. Entropie 88. Ihr könnt es gerne noch ein bisschen teilen.
Let us prepare to damage and tear this new world order that is treating us unfair. First solution is a revolution. This is a freedom song, so sing along. We're a million man strong, the war is on because Babylon did us wrong. The time is now to be awake. Television vision broadcast, the news that is fake. I'm not a priest, when I get high, I never take. When the war is over, heaven on earth is what we're going to create. High priests and his metal science soldiers and his freedom fighters. It's time to concentrate. Elohim, forgive us for our sins. No else only wings.
Also sind zum Glück doch noch ein paar mehr geworden.
Freedom, freedom again, freedom, freedom, freedom.
Oh, da habe ich auch gerade einen I Love CO2-Button gesehen.
Freedom, like a runaway slave. Freedom, like I just got fucking paid. Freedom, when I smoke in the jail. Freedom, every single day. Let me all say freedom, freedom. All my queens, let me hear you sing. Freedom, all my kings, let me hear you sing. Freedom, all my jail brothers, let me hear you sing. Freedom, all my brothers, let me hear you sing. Freedom, all my sisters, let me hear you sing. Freedom, freedom, freedom again, freedom. Pump your fist in the air to show that you get a high priest and the freedom fighters and the government's worst nightmare. Let us prepare to damage and tear this new world order that is treating us unfair. First solution is a revolution. This is a freedom song, so sing along. We're a million man strong, the war is on because Babylon did us wrong. Freedom, 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 come on, freedom, 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 freedom. Say it with your chest, freedom, freedom. All my queens, let me hear you sing. All my kings, let me hear you sing. All my jail brothers, let me hear you sing. My brothers, let me hear you sing. All my sisters, let me hear you sing. Freedom, like a runaway slave. Freedom, like I just got fucking paid. When I smoke in the jail. Every single day, make some noise. Alright. That's what we call a protest. So now, digital IDs are vexing passports for civil liberty. Nightmare. Why are all governments pushing digital ID? Tell me why are they pushing it on us? Because they want to monitor us. They want to fuck us up. That's what they want. Yeah, but we say no to that because we're ready for revolution. Are there any revolutionaries here today? If you're alright. So we got this track called Revolution for all you kings and queens. Let's go! Meta science. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're ready for the revolution, give me a hell yeah! High priest, are you ready? Hell yeah, I'm ready! Let's go! Meta science. Marching in the streets because we're trying to believe. The revolution's not complete until the 1% of the feet. Real talk, let us silence. The government is the oppressor. First giving us high pressure.
Digital ID. Please say
So let's stay down to belong together. Marching in the streets cause it's revolution. Do or die right now cause it's revolution. Time's up now cause it's revolution. And the days is here cause it's revolution. Stopping my big black boots cause it's revolution. Please, are you ready for this revolution?
Wer ist das? Fragt jemand. Ich habe keine Ahnung. Ralf hat gefragt, ob es der britische Banane ist. So, why are all just pushing digital ID? Warum pushen, was heißt pushen? Warum machen alle Regierungen Werbung für die digitale ID? Oder bringen sie voran? Cash is legal, kennen der Boykott Cashless.
We
be a revolution? Are you ready to cash out? Are you just here? Because I'm here for some real stuff.
We say no to digital ID. We say no to digital ID. We say no to digital ID. We say no to digital ID.
Ja, schön mal auf einer Demo zu sein, ohne dass man angegriffen wird. So wie in Gießen. Digital ID, Checkpoint, Britain, Resist, okay. BF Criminal Starmer, stick your digital ID where you stuck my vaccine. Steck dir die Digital ID dahin, wo du dir meine Impfung hingesteckt hast. No to digital ID, you will be a dog with a collar and lead. Also jeder, der die Digital ID annimmt, der wird wie ein Hund sein mit Collar. Oh, was heißt Collar? Ja, wahrscheinlich irgendwie so ein Halsband. Oh, ich hoffe, man darf das zeigen im deutschen Fernsehen. Ich berichte ja nur, also liebe Staatsanwaltschaften. Also mit einer 666. Jo, Thomas, lieben Gruß nach Deutschland. Ich hoffe, dir geht's gut. Also jetzt sind es vielleicht, keine Ahnung, 400, 500. Aber ich hätte eigentlich so ein paar Tausend erwartet. Na, mal gucken. Ich gehe mal da kurz hoch. Dann kann man uns vielleicht ein bisschen besser überblicken. So, falls jemand von euch David Icke sieht, gleich schreiben. Ich habe den zwar schon mal gesehen auf Videos, aber ich weiß nicht, ob ich den hier jetzt erkennen würde. Digital ID a step too far, I say no. Digitale ID, ein Schritt zu weit. So, der Hund sagt auch Nein zur digitalen Identität. The freedom you surrender today are the freedoms your grandchildren will never know existed. Ja. Also die Freiheiten, die wir heute aufgeben, sind die Freiheiten, von denen deine Enkel niemals wussten, dass es sie gab. Moin Paul, danke für dein Engagement. Ja, das gebe ich zurück an Zeitzeuge M. Der Marco hat auch ein paar schöne Dokumentationen gemacht über Demos. Könnt ihr euch gerne mal angucken. Ne, mindestens 17.000, ja. Nee, 17.000 wäre geil. Aber nee, aber ja. Mal gucken, was sich noch entwickelt. Ist ja Samstag mittags, hier ist es ja jetzt 13 Uhr, 13:20 Uhr. Aber ich bin froh, dass die Verbindung gut ist. Ach, der Ralk hetzt wieder. Was soll der Geiz? Das sind 1,3 Millionen und fertig. Ja, nicht ganz. Ja, ich glaube, da musst du mehr als 3 Nullen abziehen. Nee, wann? Ich weiß jetzt gerade nicht mehr, was. Also wahrscheinlich warten wir hier jetzt noch und bis die Leute da sind. Ich weiß halt nicht, wie Demos hier in England sonst ablaufen. Weil hier ist ja im Prinzip nicht viel los. Hier sind kaum Leute. Deswegen macht das ja auch nicht so viel Sinn, eigentlich hier zu skandieren. Schönen guten Tag, Grüße aus Reichenbach an der Vils, Baden-Württemberg. Ja, Gruß zurück nach Baden-Württemberg. Wir sind Menschen, keine Daten.
We're not data. We are human. 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 We're not data. We are human.
Martin.
We're not data. We are human. 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 We're not data. We are human.
Oh, da haben wir, glaube ich, einen kleinen Hetzer im Chat. You far right sucks. Ja, genau. We are far right, but we have a lot of black people here, so where are the far rights? Die Daten ist unter Bewusstsein. Cashless, you fucking joke. Ja, sieht so aus, als wären jetzt gerade im Chat ein paar na, wie heißt das, ein paar Trolle. Aber ist in Ordnung.
We are human. We're not data. 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 We are human. We're not data.
Go back to Stone Ages, geh zurück ins Steinzeitalter. Oh Mann, ey.
We're not data. We are human. 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 We're not data.
Shut the fuck up, you German. Fucking German cunts. Okay. Den schmeiß ich mal raus. Ja, Beleidigungen gehen nicht.
We are human. We're not data. We are human. We're not data. We are human. We will not comply. 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 We will not comply.
schreibt jemand, lass ihn doch. Nee, also wenn jemand richtig anfängt zu beleidigen, dann fliegt er raus. Da habe ich keinen Bock drauf. Also das Problem ist, wenn die halt hier Wörter schreiben, das sieht der Algorithmus ja und dann wird das Video keinem angezeigt, da habe ich auch keinen Bock drauf. Er darf zugucken, aber darf nichts mehr schreiben, so einfach. So, dann. Das Wetter ist wunderbar. Also blauer Himmel, die Sonne scheint. Nur wegen der ganzen hohen Gebäude sind wir halt hier im Schatten. Aber ich bin heute Morgen schon ein bisschen rumgelaufen und ja, war wunderschön.
That needs to be conscripted into Starmer's teenage army. Think about it. Be sent to the front. Life might be a lot more comfort. Because if you do not comply, don't do everything you're told. Start resist non-compliance.
Paul, ich habe deinen Stream aufs Blue schaut jetzt geteilt und man sieht, ich glaube, diese Comments kommen. Ah, okay, ja gut. Kann der Fan der digitalen Kontrolle noch mitlesen, wann er rausgekickt wurde, wäre witzig. Ja, er kann noch mitlesen, aber na okay, ist halt ja, wahrscheinlich ein Brite. Das heißt, der wird eh nichts verstehen. Er wird nur verstehen, was die Leute hier rufen. Wichtig, solche Leute, die provozieren wollen, aus dem Chat zu beenden, ja. Ja, denke ich auch.
So all of a sudden, light on the front might seem quite comfy. So it's digi-dodgy ID for World War Part 3. Think about it, get on stage. Humanity was justified, do not comply. Do not comply.
So, ich bin mal gespannt, was es später noch geben wird. Auf 1 ist auch da. Er hat auch etwas mehr Leute hier erwartet. Die wollten, ja Gott. In London wird halt auch gespritzt. Ja, ich freue mich, wenn es losgeht. Also ist es ein bisschen langweilig. Aber schön ist, dass hier dass der Empfang gut ist, dass da nichts zusammenbricht. Okay, aber es sind nicht so viele Leute, dass es irgendwie zusammenbricht. Das würde auch in Deutschland noch ohne Probleme klappen. Also beim Helge jetzt am Mittwoch in Sofia, da ist es zusammengebrochen, das Netz. Da waren einfach zu viele Menschen. Ja, die muss ich mal später fragen, aber die sieht jetzt ziemlich beschäftigt aus. Diese Rolle läuft die ganze Zeit hin und her. Also das ist nicht die Anmelderin, die Fiona Diamond Rose oder so heißt die Anmelderin.
We are going to be leaving very soon, so sorry to be boring, but just asking if when we do leave you can kind of just come to the side. It's very important that nobody comes in front of the banner.
Also geht bald los.
Thanks so much guys for coming. We are going to need, if the crowd can just step back a little bit, if that's alright. Don't worry, there'll be plenty of time to interview and talk to Fiona and Andrew and stuff after the rally, so don't worry. And thank you so much for coming.
When everybody is in a hurry to leave.
Thank you so much for coming, alright? So we're going to make some noise now and we're going to say, we say no to digital ID! We say no!
Die gehören, glaube ich, auch noch alle dazu. Das ist zumindest keine Gegendemo.
To digital ID!
Gegendemo habe ich jetzt nicht gesehen. Der Ton ist gut, ja, freut mich. Ich habe jetzt halt das Mikrofon an für die Interviews quasi. Also da werden die mich ganz gut verstehen, ich weiß ja nicht genau. Aber ich denke, den Rest von außerhalb könnt ihr auch gut hören. Gibt es auch ein patriotisches Walking. Das sagt mir nichts, aber Ralf, das kannst du ja gerne machen. Kannst du ja gerne mal anmelden. Kannst du eine Demo machen für die digitale ID. Kannst du so ein paar Chips in den Hintern spritzen. Und dann wirst du überall in jedem Geschäft gleich erkannt. Oh, der Ralf ist da. Der Ralf mag dies und das. Dann wird gibt es gleich ein paar Sonderangebote.
This is a step towards surveillance society.
Do you think it can be defeated?
It can be defeated, but we've got to be very wary of, we've got to watch our backs. Because while we're doing the law, we're busy imposing it anyway. We test the shots and surveillance cameras everywhere.
Ich kenne die englische Demoszene halt überhaupt nicht, deswegen weiß ich nicht, wer das ist. Am Weihnachtsmarkt gibt es auch sowas. Gibt es auch was? Was meinst du genau mit am Weihnachtsmarkt gibt es auch was? Ist das Maler? Maler Svenja Liebig hat sich in London versteckt. Ja, hier sind auch junge Leute auf der Demo. Die Polizei ist auch glücklich, dass nicht so viele Leute auf der Demo sind. Ja, gut möglich. verstehen, dann werden sie sich denken, warum kommen so wenig Leute. Eine schöne Stelle gefunden an meinem Gimbal. Da kann ich das Mikrofon dran machen, ohne dass es abfällt. Ja, in Deutschland hätten die Straße schon lang gesperrt. Dass hier keiner direkt neben der Demo vorbeifährt. Das interessiert mich England. Wollen die in die EU und den Euro? Nee. Die sind genau da raus. Das Problem ist, das wird ja überall, also das ist ja ein globales Problem. Das ist ja nicht ein englisches Problem. In England machen die jetzt halt viel mit der digitalen ID, wird hier vorangetrieben, in anderen Ländern was anderes. Ich weiß nicht, in Deutschland war es die elektronische Patientenakte vielleicht. Die probieren es halt immer aus, was kann man mit den Leuten machen. Ich würde mir eine bessere Choreografie von den Aktivisten wünschen. Ja, vor allem schreit man sich halt hier auch. Da gibt es Leute mit Masken. Oh, die ist noch relativ jung. Und hat, glaube ich, einen Stern auf der Mütze. Ja, hier reicht man halt keinen und jetzt rufen die sich hier kaputt. Je weiter die Gesellschaft von der Wahrheit wegdriftet, the more it will hope, desto mehr wird sie diejenigen hassen, die diese aussprechen, also die Wahrheit. Ziemlich kurz gedacht, Petra, das Lachen wird uns allen noch vergehen, egal in welchen Ländern die digitale Kontrolle zuerst etabliert wird. Ja, so ist das. Da gibt es einige Leute, die auch außerhalb stehen. Da hinten steht noch jemand mit einem Schild. So, dann wird der Reporter jetzt heute mal interviewt.
Ja, warum nicht? Ja, hallo.
Also wir sind jetzt gerade live. Wie sind deine Eindrücke jetzt von der Demo?
Naja, es hat gerade erst begonnen, würde ich mal sagen. Es sind jetzt hier Ich schätze mal großzügig 1000, 1500 Leute. Hätte ich jetzt ehrlich gesagt mit ein bisschen mehr gerechnet. Andererseits, mir sagt ein paar britische Journalisten, kann doch werden. Wohl am Ende der Veranstaltung ist noch einiges vorgesehen. Insofern warten wir aber ab. Ich glaube, es scheint jetzt sogar auch loszugehen.
Oh ja, wir laufen gerade los. Okay.
Reden wir später.
Ja, super. Also bei Auf 1 wird es dann heute Abend auch noch einen Bericht geben. Nehme ich mal an. Ja, vorhin war ich noch im Ikea und habe da eine Toilette gefunden. Das Nervige ist ja, wenn man hier keinen kennt, kann man ja keinem mal einfach so die Kamera abgeben und mal schnell auf Toilette laufen. Oh, das ist die Fiona, die Anmelderin dieser Demos. So wie ich es mitbekommen habe, hat sie auch schon zu Corona sehr viele Demos angemeldet. Oh, schade, wenn die zur Demo gehören würden, könnte ich ja reinspringen und dann mitfahren. Wenn jetzt alle mitlaufen, sieht es auch ein bisschen größer aus. Oh, Trommler gibt es auch. Da werden sich die deutschen Trommler freuen. British Lines for Freedom.
Yeah, but it just gets us down the road freely without traffic.
Ja, Ralk, wie wär's, wenn du mal eine Demo machst? Der Ralk, der hetzt hier immer nur im Chat. Aber macht selber nie was. Er versteckt sich hier hinter irgendeinem Pseudonym. Aber naja gut, wenn die Digital ID kommt, dann wird es ja seinem Namen zugeordnet werden können. Und dann weiß man, wer der Hetzer ist. Das ist ein gutes Beispiel dafür, dass man als Streamer nicht viel Geld braucht, um die Leute zu informieren. Ja, okay. Also die Fahrt hierhin hat schon einiges gekostet. Waren 50 € für den Flug, 1,5 Stunden zum Flughafen hin, dann Parkgebühren am Flughafen für 2 Tage, weil ich etwas mehr als 24 Stunden unterwegs bin. Dann, was ist, über 30 € noch mit dem Zug hierhin. Bis jetzt bei Whitehall, ich habe keine Ahnung. Ich kenne mich hier überhaupt nicht aus. Also ich weiß, dass da vorne gleich ein Ikea kommt. Da war ich vorhin kurz noch mal auf der Toilette.
ID. We say no to digital 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 ID.
Wir sind jetzt gerade an der U-Bahn-Station Oxford Circus. Ja, hier laufen so viele Leute mit der Kamera rum, dass man das Banner überhaupt nicht sieht. Das ist auch ein geiles Werk. Hier ist mein Digital ID. Das ist jetzt die Anmelderin von der Demo.
How's it going?
We say no to digital ID. 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 We say no to digital
So, ich sehe, da ist ein Kommentar oben die ganze Zeit eingeblendet. Ich habe keine Ahnung, wie man den rausbekommt. Also die Stadt ist ziemlich voll. Da fragt gerade jemand, wo wir hinlaufen. Sekunde. Also wir laufen die Regent Street. Aber ich weiß jetzt nicht, ob nach Norden oder nee, Richtung Süden, glaube ich. Ah, das ist genau. Geworden. So, jetzt ist das habe ich auch noch nie gehabt, dass ein Kommentar von das wäre der World Economic Forum. Big Brother bei längerem Zuschauen. Aber die Teilnehmer wurde unterwegs und dann also jetzt sind wir gleich am Trafalgar Square. Thank you for not smoking in this area. Danke, dass Sie in dieser Gegend nicht rauchen.
I've got this.
Exempt ausgenommen. Jo, auch eine besondere. Ja, da gab es ein bisschen Probleme. Also hier schreibt bei dem Trafalgar Square schon fast an Whitehall, ja. Da gab es halt im Vorhinein schon ein bisschen Probleme, weil da halt jemand anderes noch ja, auch dort in der Nähe eine Demo angemeldet hat. Ja, was halt nicht wirklich viel Sinn macht, aber ja. Uncool. Wo ist der Müller-Wertens? Keine Ahnung. Läuft irgendwo rum. Also da ist der Trafalgar Square. Oh, Kanada. Kanadische Flagge, wahrscheinlich ist das hier die Botschaft. Canada House. Ja gut, möglich, dass es die Botschaft ist. Ah, da ist der Weihnachtsmarkt. Da bin ich vorhin vorbeigelaufen. Ja, wenn man es auch noch ein bisschen umdreht, dann, wenn man wieder umdreht, dann ja, schafft man es gar nicht zu lesen. Mach heute nichts, verliere morgen alles. Oh, in Deutschland wäre schon rausgeholt worden. Also hier sind auch viele junge Leute da, also im Vergleich zu Deutschland, ja, wie soll man sagen, extrem viele. Also das ist typisch hier für London, hier gibt es überall an jeder Ecke irgendwie ein Konzert. Mist, oder? We say no to digital ID. Das ist ja geil. Im Hintergrund der Big Ben. Also nee, nicht der Big Ben, das ist ja der Tower. Der Big Ben ist ja die Glocke innen drin. Aber ich weiß jetzt nicht mehr, wie der Tower heißt. Sorry, can I ask you something? Okay, I'm Paul from Germany.
Yeah.
Why are you here today?
To protest against digital ID. It takes away our freedom. We have to keep going. We're winning, but we have to keep going. All our freedom is over if they bring in digital ID.
Okay, thank you. Also der hat diesen geilen Pulli angehabt. No to digital ID und dann 2 Mittelfinger. So, hier waren anscheinend auch Pferde unterwegs. Aber hier ist hoffentlich keine Antifa, die Pferde dann verschreckt. So, hier scheint die Verbindung echt gut zu sein. Was werden es sein? Vielleicht 1500, 2000 Leute. Das war der Sänger, der ganz am Anfang da gesungen hat. In einer Stadt wie London müssten hier eigentlich Zehntausende auf der Straße sein. Und wie viele Leute wohnen hier? Ich glaube über 3 Millionen. Da müsste die Stadt eigentlich komplett geflutet sein, also die Innenstadt. Boah, es ist so schön, mal guten Empfang zu haben. Aber ich will es jetzt nicht beschreien, nicht, dass es wieder abbricht. Wenn wir das mit Frankfurt am Main vergleichen, naja gut, ja. Frankfurt ist ja um einiges kleiner. Wir haben ja 750.000, also bei 3 Millionen. Das ist nur ein Viertel der Einwohner. Ja, Großraum London noch mehr, ja. Ja, ich erschrecke in meinen Großstädten, wenn ich dann merke, wenn ich irgendwo hinfahren muss und dann dauert es mal eine Stunde in einer Stadt von einem Eck irgendwo anders hinzufahren. Ja, in Frankfurt hat man das auch, gerade während der Feierabendzeit, Rush Hour. Da kannst du mal für 3 Kilometer oder so locker eine halbe Stunde brauchen.
digital prison that they're not even, the younger generation, not even conscious of.
I think in Germany you could get in der Nähe ist, würde ich da vielleicht mal kurz hinlaufen. Okay, geht das Bühnenprogramm jetzt los? Nee, nächstes Lied. Ja. Warum singen die dann nicht wenigstens live? Ihr seht das jetzt nicht so wirklich, weil da werden gerade Szenen gezeigt, wie Leute verhaftet wurden, aber ich denke, das ist nicht von heute. Ja, okay, war wahrscheinlich während der Corona-Zeit. Oh ja, Michael Jackson, das folgt den Algorithmus sehr. Ich bleib mal ein bisschen hier hinten. So, dann kann ich euch mal die Termine für die nächsten Tage und Wochen sagen. Eine kleine Korrektur. Die heutigen Termine können ja raus. Also heute gibt es noch eine Demo in Schwarzenberg. Da überträgt der Weiche. In Augsburg ist auch noch eine Demo. So, ja, ich habe mich rasiert. Ich bin fast nackt, gefühlt nackt. Nächsten Samstag bin ich wieder online in Frankfurt. Da gibt es wieder eine Demo. Eine ganz interessante Demo von einem ganz interessanten Typen. Thomas Unbreakable, ein früherer Boxer. Da geht es um Kinder- und Frauenschutz, höhere Strafen für Pädophile. Ich glaube, die beiden Demos haben sich hier in Weithold vereint. Oder frage doch mal den Müller-Mertens, der ist auf der anderen Seite von dir. Genau, am 20.12. in Frankfurt. Und im Anschluss gibt es noch einen Aufzug von Frauen laufen. Dann am 21. gibt es in Schweinfurt eine Demo. Ich weiß es nicht genau, kann sein, dass es da nur einen Aufzug gibt. Dann am 31.12. Wurde ja eine Demo angekündigt, dann wurde sie wieder abgesagt. Und jetzt haben andere Leute eine Demo angemeldet. Also am 31.12. findet was statt in Aschaffenburg. Dann nächstes Jahr gibt es viele Demos in Baden-Württemberg, in Reutlingen, Pforzheim, Göppingen. Die wechseln sich ja ab. Am 8. ist, glaube ich, am 8.3. ist, glaube ich, eine Bundestagswahl, Landtagswahl in Baden-Württemberg. Deswegen gibt es da viele Demos. Und am 14.2. trifft sich das Who is Who der Kriegstreiber-Szene in München und auf der Münchner Sicherheitskonferenz. Und deswegen wird es auch eine Demo geben. So, und solange ich geredet habe, habe ich die andere Demo gefunden. Nein, die sind nicht vereint. Es gibt hier im Prinzip, also da hinten ist die eine Demo und hier ist die andere Demo.
Yes. YouTuber?
Yes.
Really? Do you know the rules about the press?
Who is it?
The rules about the press.
Roosevelt Press? No. I'm from Germany. Sorry. Er wollte halt von mir irgendwas wissen, wegen irgendeinem YouTuber. Also, Demo. Es ist so krass, so nutzlos, wenn man hier eine Demo anmeldet. Hätte man doch mal eine Woche verschieben können. Also hier ist die Demo von Tommy Robinson. Das ist, also Aschaffenburg wurde nicht abgesagt. Aschaffenburg findet statt. Also eine Demo wird abgesagt, aber eine andere wird dafür angemeldet. Also hier ist eine Demo von Tommy Robinson. Hier ist es alles etwas patriotischer, mit vielen britischen Flaggen. Aber ja, echt, warum meldet man hier eine Demo an? Also wirklich ein paar Meter weiter. So nutzlos. Am gleichen Tag, zur gleichen Uhrzeit. I love Jesus. Ja. So. Also hier passiert auch nichts, dann gehe ich mal wieder rüber. Ich hoffe mal, dass da hinten jetzt die Musik zu Ende ist. Okay, ich höre da hinten schon was. Ja, aber echt krass, hey. Also hier gibt es eine Demo mit riesiger Technik. Die werden vielleicht am Ende noch auf ihren Kosten sitzen bleiben. Nebendran gibt es noch eine Demo.
Now, I'm someone who's played both now
sehen, den Bericht bei Auf 1.
This is the point we're saying now. But the point is, these protesters organised, the police were absolutely fine with everything and against what I usually do. For the first time ever, I formally spoke to the police about a protest this year in October. I don't like doing it, guys. I don't like the fact that the police keep us in one lane. I don't like the tape and code. I don't like the fact that they walk alongside us and try and restrict us. But I think it's time to admit that we already live in a permission state. You've all run off now. Where's all the cops? There were so many of you earlier, and now you've all run away. We live in a permission state already, and I think people need to realise they come after certain people harder than they do others. And in organising this protest, everything was fine. Well, until Israel's sponsored protest was announced to be happening, which is happening immediately behind us. Now, I didn't have a problem with that. I think everybody's got the right to protest. Everybody does. I don't care what your views are. I don't care what your politics is. I don't care what your ideology is, who you pray to, what colour your skin is. I don't care. I am a free speech absolutist, and you can say what you want. But when your job is literally to distract, to divide and conquer, I'm going to call you out. And what happened with the protesters happening behind us? The Metropolitan Police gave that person everything that he wanted and restricted us more and more and more. With all these barriers, with all these rules, with the tape and cone, with the police walking alongside us, they told me I could only have 3 lanes. That's why this is in the middle and I'm in this position. I've been forced into this position by the Metropolitan Police. What?
Also jetzt hat sie gerade über die Demo,
Yeah, they are
über die andere
criminals.
Demo
The Metropolitan
geredet.
Police are criminals. Absolutely. They do work for us. But the problem is with these people, you get a little bit of power and a little bit more power and a little bit more power. You start to think that what's coming for humanity isn't coming for you, like you're above it. Well, let me tell you something, you're not above it. It's coming for you too, and we are here today fighting for you, the Metropolitan Police, because we fight for humanity. You make our job harder, you suppress our free speech and our protests, and you make people not want to come out. But we stand here for you and your children as well, so you need to listen. But like I say, you've all run away. Now, I'm a talker and I'm going to try not to speak so much. I just wanted to get that out of the way, but I tell you what. First of all, I'm going to invite our first speaker onto the stage, and he's the son of a man that we all know. But he himself, my friend actually described him as an angel, because he is one of the most humble, kind-hearted, intelligent and caring men that I've met. He is a presenter on Iconic, and he too is fighting for everyone's freedom and has been for years now, and I just think he is obviously following in his father's footsteps in so many ways. But the next man, he is his own man, he's an incredible man, and I'd like to welcome to the stage Gareth Icke, everyone. Please make some noise.
Thank you so much. I'm not rapping, not this time. It does feel like 2020 all over again, doesn't it? I was thinking that. I'm like, right, we're right back at the coalface. But I will say it was an honour to stand in defiance with all of you then, and it is now. Because we stood up then because we knew, as we know now, that the power is with the people. The power is with us. Thank you very much. Governments answer to us, not the other way around. And what we've allowed over the years is we've allowed ourselves to be gaslit and fooled and conned and divided and terrified into accepting the reverse. Well, that stops now. Now, back in 2020, this is the main difference here, because right now we're being asked to accept something that none of us want. Absolutely no one wants digital ID at all. But in 2020, when we stood up, we were the minority, and we were fighting back not just against the state, but we were fighting back against our friends, family members sometimes, work colleagues, employers, Jeremy Vine. But we're the majority now. We have the numbers that we didn't have back in 2020. Now that's not to say that, you know, fighting back against digital ID is going to be simple or easy or without sacrifice, because we will be asked to give up stuff that we love and things that we hold dear and take for granted to resist digital ID. And that, I think, is a conversation that all of us are going to have with ourselves at some point. What are we willing to give up? What are we willing not to do that we normally did in order to stand back and refuse digital ID? Because let's have it right, they will put those blockages in the way for all of us. And of course, that's a conversation we have with ourselves, and only we can answer how far we're willing to go. But I will say that if you're coming into this battle with the attitude of, I'm going to resist digital ID unless, or I'm going to refuse to submit to digital ID, but if they do X, Y, and Z, then you may as well put up that white flag and sign on the dotted line now, because they will put those blockages in place. But let me frame the question in a different way. Instead of asking ourselves, what are we going to be giving up if we comply, or if we don't comply, and we refuse digital ID? Ask yourselves, what will you be giving up if you do comply with digital ID? What will you be sacrificing on the altar of you'll own nothing, you'll have no privacy, but you'll be bloody miserable? We'll be giving away our freedoms, our children's freedoms, our grandchildren's freedoms. We'll be giving away our rights to where we can go, what we can do, what we can buy, whether we can access our money, what we can say, what we can hear. We'll be giving away our children's futures. We'll be giving away their freedoms. They will never experience true freedom because we will have given it away on their behalf. They will never be able to be uniquely themselves, to express themselves freely, because we gave it away on their behalf. Now, as I say, they're going to put all these blockages in our way, and they're going to try and make it difficult for us to resist digital ID. They're going to gaslight us some more. They're going to try and fool us and hoodwink us into accepting it. Because I understand, ladies and gentlemen, that our digital prison is being built around us all the time. I'm not a fool. I know that it's coming in many and various ways. But digital ID is the bedrock that all this stuff is built upon. I said it was a ridiculous analogy, but it kind of worked-ish, so I'm going to repeat it. For me, digital ID is the pizza base, and all the other aspects are just the toppings. Without the base, you've got a very messy kitchen. And that's why it's so important for us to resist digital ID. Because digital ID is the padlock that closes that door shut, if we allow it. And that's the most important point here, if we allow it. They're trying to fool us. They're trying to terrify us and divide us into accepting digital ID because they know they can't do it without our consent. If they could steamroll over us and bring in this hellscape without us agreeing, trust me, they would. But they can't, because that's not how this dynamic works. Every single one of you here, and every single person watching on a live stream, and every single person going to say, you know, hallelujah and stuff with Tommy, every single one of them is a miracle. Whatever it takes in terms of the neurons that need to fire, the electronic impulses through our nerves, for us to just get out of bed in the morning is an absolute miracle. Every life that comes into this world is a miracle. You're not a number, you're not a barcode, you're not a QR code, and you're not a state asset. We are free human beings, and we decide our future, not Larry Ellison or Tony Blair or Zippy from Rainbow, or any of his Ukrainian arsonists, none of them. We decide our futures, not them. Now, I'm absolutely sure that they will seek to divide us, and they will throw dirty tricks there to get us to turn on each other, because they know that when we stand together as one, we are uncontrollable and unbeatable. So when they throw in those dirty tricks to get us to turn on each other, we need to refuse. We say, no, I'm not going to hate each other, I'm not going to hate my neighbour, I'm not going to fall for this. We put all our differences aside. We can go back to hating each other tomorrow, that's fine. We can argue tomorrow. But when it comes to digital ID, they're coming for all of us. It doesn't matter what differences we have between us, and I'm sure there's a multitude of differences. Me and that flag for one. There's a multitude of differences. But we have so much more in common than we do that divides us. And they know that the only way they can get us to submit is by dividing us. So let's see that play of divide and rule as a positive thing, because what it means is they know they can't do it when we're together. They know that we have the power, and the only power that Zippy from Rainbow and all the rest of them have is the power that we give to them. So let's refuse to hand over that power. We do not bend, we do not break, we do not kneel at the feet of Xerxes at the hotcakes. We do not accept that 30 pieces of short-term convenient silver. We stand together, united. When those literal or metaphorical jackboots come to our door, we stand tall and we look that enemy in the eye and we refuse to blink. And perhaps more importantly, we refuse to stand aside when those jackboots come to the doors of our neighbour. Like I say, we can fight again tomorrow if we need to. But for now, let us unite. And let us remind those that would rule over us that while some tyrannies last longer than others, in the end they all ultimately crumble. Because when faced with the indomitable force of the collective human spirit, evil will never win the day. No more false heroes, no more idols, no more saviours. The person that wins this battle is the person that stares back at you every single morning when you're brushing your teeth. And when that reflection stands tall, it puffs out its chest, and it looks these demons in the eye and it refuses to bow and to comply, then we win, and we win together. And I will just say one final, very quick, short, simplistic message to those demons that seek our destruction. Bring on. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. He's always so inspiring, that man. He always makes me raring to go in the platonic sense. But he's a great speaker, I think you can all agree. And something I wanted to achieve today was to demonstrate that this is not a political issue. It doesn't matter where you stand, on the left or the right, centre, populist, it doesn't matter. That wasn't all one word, by the way, but this is a non-partisan issue. It does not matter. It's not Keir Starmer's plan, it's not Together's plan, Labour Together's plan, it's not even Tony Blair's plan. And I think the way that people are looking at it, and what the current government is saying, what if a nefarious future government was to do something? Well, what about the government that we've got now? It doesn't make a difference. This is brilliant. They're not very good weights, are they? So, there are good people in politics. I'm not going to deny there's good people in politics. My personal view is we might not find the answers there. Actually, we definitely won't. But there are very good people who are trying to make it in politics, and who have been in politics for a while, that really care about the people. And our next speaker is a former ambassador to Syria, a former diplomat. He's called out the government. He's called out the government repeatedly, and he's currently the deputy leader of the Workers' Union Party. And so I would like you to give a huge round of applause to Peter Ford. He does care. He is a politician and a diplomat who cares. So please make some noise for Peter Ford.
Thank you. Thanks, Fiona. First of all, a massive thanks to Fiona and her team for organising this. Well done, Fiona. She's worked against all the odds People have tried to undermine her. There have been splitters in the movement, but she has held things together. And that's my main message today, unity. I come from a political party, George Galloway's Workers' Party, which is often described as far left. That is not true, but I will not run away from it. And I want to say I'm happy to work with politicians on the right, the centre, the Greens, wherever, anybody who is against this digital ID monstrosity. Yes! There is really only one wing of the Labour Party which is in favour of this horror, and that's Starmer and Blair behind him and all that wing of the Labour Party. They have to be budged off that position, and we can do it if we stand together. My background was in the Foreign Office. I was an ambassador in the Middle East. My experience is with war and peace. Well, there's only one war going on at the moment, really, one real war. That's the war the government is waging against the British people. We are under siege from the state, from the government, from the security services, from the police. They're arresting our politicians for having the wrong opinions. George Galloway is not able to live in this country at the moment. He was pulled over at the airport recently, given a several-hour grilling, his phone stolen. This is all this done under the counter-terrorism legislation, which is the instrument the government used to terrorise us. It's not to defend us against terrorism, it's to terrorise us, to intimidate people who will not follow the narrative. It's unbelievable that in this country, senior politicians who've been MPs half a dozen times are pulled over on the counter-terrorism legislation. Journalists also pulled over at the airport for having made the mistake of not following the government line on whether it was Russia or climate or whatever. Or the vaccine. We have a anti-vaccine hero here with Mr. Bridgen shortly. We all come from that background. We're rebels. Starmer has made the mistake of waking up a sleeping giant. We were a giant in the anti-lockdown period. Many of us fought in those campaigns. Long campaigns over 2 years. And then we went into kind of hibernation. Well, they've woken us up. And we are angry bears. And we will, in the end, turf Starmer out of government. We'll have to do it with the help of other politicians. But the people on the street, like yourselves, this is where the action is today. Thank you very much for coming, and let's keep on united. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Peter. Now, I wanted to, again, like I say, put these people next to each other, because it's really important that we demonstrate that left and right can stand with each other. But I am going to tell you something, because I kind of wanted to prove a point, and I'll prove another point in a minute. But Jeremy Corbyn was invited to speak. Rupert Lowe was invited to speak. Because the test for me is, do you really stand with the people, or do you really think that you just stand in that building and speak for the people? Because my opinion is, they don't speak for us, we can speak for ourselves. And if they won't stand with us, I don't want them speaking for me. And that's where I'm at. That was quite good, wasn't it? That was a bit of a tongue twister. But that's how I truly feel. But talking of good men, and it is very male heavy here today, in the right way. This man has been out since 2020, and I don't know if you saw him in the video, that I played at the beginning. But this man has stood so strong, shoulder to shoulder with us. From 2020, he was on the London Assembly and he gave absolute hell to Sadiq Khan and called out every single ridiculous measure. And he spoke at our rallies, he marched with us, and he started what's called the Heritage Party. And this is one of those good men that if he got into that building would do good work. Because again, we might have different opinions and believe different things, but this man truly cares about people, he truly cares about humanity, and he is one of my favourite OGs from 2020. He's got the biggest smile, and I just love this man. Please welcome David Curtin.
Thank you so much, Fiona, for that lovely introduction. And thank you all so much for coming here to stand up for freedom once again in 2025. Yeah! We're going to tell Keir Starmer and his brigade where to go. And when he said that everyone needed to have a digital ID, he totally deceived everyone as to the reason. He said, we need this to stop mass migration, which is a problem that's been created by the people in Parliament, the building behind the stage. We don't need to have mass immigration. They could sort that problem out today if they wanted to, if they stopped the boats coming across the channel. But this is typical problem, reaction, solution. Create a problem, get everyone to react, and then come in with a solution, which is to bring digital ID, not for the problem, but to surveil and monitor and control you and everyone in this country. And do you know what we say to Keir Starmer? No! You're not going to have your way, Keir Starmer, or Tony Blair, or the people behind Keir Starmer, whether they're the people in the building who are useful idiots or like a little bit of power, or the globalists in the World Economic Forum and the Club of Rome and whatever other globalist organisations want to bring in this control and surveillance system. Now this country, England, the United Kingdom, is the home of freedom. Even Charlie Kirk, when he spoke, is no longer with us, sadly, but he said, he came over here and said, you have given freedom to the world. The United States is free because of the legacy that you've given us from the United Kingdom. And you people here today have had the courage to come out and put your head above the parapet, show your faces and say that we're going to stand for our ancient freedoms. And that is beautiful. And I thank you so much for doing that. But not just you, 3 million people signed a petition to say, we're not going to have this, turn back your plans, we don't want digital ID. And you know, of course, what the government said, quite predictably, stuff you, we're going to do it anyway. Because that's the disdain they treat ordinary people with. But they're not going to have their way, because we're not going to comply. And the thing is, they brought in law after law, about 20 different laws over the last 10 years that have introduced it piecemeal. Now, this is complicated and a bit technical, because Keir Starmer stood up in September and said, everyone needs to have a Brit card. Well, that's really a straw man, because as we now know, the Brit card is not the real digital ID that they're going to try and bring in. They're bringing in this system called One Login. And as you know at the moment, if you're a company director, they're trying to coerce you to get a One login and have a unique single identifier whereby the government can monitor you and see what you're doing between different government departments. And they've already rolled that out with the veteran card as well. And the idea is by 2027, every single thing that the interaction you make with the government is going to have to need a One Login and gov.uk wallet on your smartphone. Well, sorry, I'm not going to get any government wallet on my smartphone. I'm going to get a Nokia 3310. and they're not going to be able to trap me with that. But they've also brought in laws so that people are getting digital ID and giving up their biometric data without even realising it. Right back in 2017, there were some regulations called the Anti-Money Laundering and Terrorist Finance Regulations, by which they introduced Know Your Customer, that system, whereby if you are a customer of banks for certain banking services and cryptocurrency services and other things, they have to do a check on your identity. Not that you go in and show your face and you go in person like people used to do when we all acted with each other like human beings. They now want everyone just to do this digitally and give a photo of yourself and download documents of yourself issued by the government, which can then be shuffled around from department to department and from business to business, and who knows where those things end up. They don't care about our privacy, and this is one of the worst things about digital ID, that it's going to take away our privacy, and they're already trying to do that. And another thing they're rolling out at the same time, of course, is this facial recognition camera systems where they are live tracking your faces and attempting to identify you, even if you're going about your business walking through a town centre or a city centre. Now, all of this agenda goes together. It's all part of Agenda 2030. It's all part of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which you can see. And I get called a conspiracy theorist, but it's on the government website. It's on the UN website. It's not a conspiracy. It's what they're trying to do. And the way we can stop it is by simply not engaging and just going back to being human beings who relate to each other and don't relate to a digital system and don't relate to AI. And that is what we're going to do. And the great thing about you here and the opportunity we have is, though they're trying to take away our privacy and take away our identity, within this we can rediscover our humanity, and we can rediscover the communities that we used to have and the way we used to relate to each other, which they want to take away, which is a part of our spirit, and they can never take away our human spirit. And that is why they will fail. Keir Starmer will fail, Tony Blair will fail, Klaus Schwab will fail, Bill Gates will fail, the World Economic Forum will fail, the United Nations will fail, everyone who wants to oppress us will fail, and we will be free! Thank you so much, God bless you all, walk in your freedom and take back our nation for you and for our children. Thank you so much, everyone.
All the good men you see, there are good men. That man should be in that building. And by that building I mean Parliament. It's a bit of a demon pit at the moment. Let's get them all out of the way, shall we? The next man, another good man, a man I work closely with, when he spoke about the COVID jab harms in December of 2022. He'd spoken before that, but this man stood for the COVID jab injured and bereaved like nobody and was completely shunned in that house, and the next vote was totally rigged, and he should still have that seat, because this man can admit that maybe he was wrong a few years ago, but he's done everything he can to fight for people who've been injured and killed by something that the government told them was safe and effective. And he's done more than that. Mr. Beginn, our next speaker, woo! Mr. Beginn is a wonderful man. He is travelling around telling the truth, This man is speaking out against the globalists, and those are the kind of people that we need to see in Parliament, because we're expected to believe that the people in Parliament are intelligent men and women, but I doubt that very much when they don't know that this, what we're facing now, digital ID, is above the level of nation, but this man does now. Please welcome Andrew Bridgman and make some noise.
Thank you, Fiona. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. They will tell you that digital ID, you should give up some of your freedom for security and for convenience. I assure you, ladies and gentlemen, that history shows repeatedly that those people willing to give up their freedom for the vision of security and convenience end up with neither freedom nor security. And the only convenience will be that the state will find it far easier to manage every part of your and my lives with digital ID. Digital ID is absolutely fundamental for Agenda 2030. If we can stop digital ID, we can stop Agenda 2030 and we can have our freedom. Now, it was 3 years ago today, on the 13th of December 2022, I stood up in the house behind us on the corner and stopped the government vaccinating healthy under 5s with the COVID-19 vaccines. The same politicians who told you that the vaccines were safe and effective are telling you that you need digital ID.
Fuck those guys.
Keir Starmer did not have digital ID in his manifesto. He barely got a third of the votes in the country. Barely 20-odd% of the adults who could have voted. He has no mandate to take away our freedoms. He has no authority. And the good news is that 2/3 of the public are already against digital ID. And the more they find out about it, the less they are going to like it, I assure you. Digital ID is a trap, and it's always better to avoid a trap than to try and get out of it once we're in it. If you say yes to digital ID, I fear you'll never be able to say no to the government ever again. And to trust any government with the power that digital ID gives over you is amazing. How many people in the audience trust Keir Starmer's government? Well, imagine, you'd be placing your trust not only in Keir Starmer's government at the moment, but in every future government that is yet to be elected or appointed to the house behind us. It is a one-way street. Once you give these freedoms away, you will never get them back. And more importantly, you'll be giving away not only your freedom, but vicariously you'll be giving away your neighbour's freedom if you comply. You'll be giving away your children's freedom. You'll be giving away your grandchildren's freedom. And you will be giving away the freedom of generations of our nation yet unborn. Not in my name. It's not our freedom to give away. We will win. God bless you all and thank you.
Thank you. Now get to your meeting. Can I tell people what meeting it is? No, I'm not allowed apparently. Everything's so secret until it, doesn't come out in the press. What am I doing now? I've completely forgotten. Oh, so now, yeah, you're reminding me now. I made a bit of a statement in Parliament because I firmly believe that we can't vote our way out of this. We can't sign petitions to get out of this because it is above the level of nation. And the whole point of doing today is to hear from those people, to educate, to empower, to inform, so you guys can go out and you can tell other people and share the information, because I don't think we're going to get the answers at all that we need from that Parliament, government, executive, PM, doesn't matter who they are. And I think I actually made that quite clear on Monday just gone.
say that there is a power because there simply isn't. Thank the honourable member. I thank the honourable member for giving way. Is he proposing that the police have the right to demand the access?
We don't want this and we will not comply.
Is he proposing that the police have that right to demand access to the digital ID for example, on the spot?
The people say no, we will not.
Ja, da ist sie, glaube ich, irgendwie ins Parlament gekommen und hat dann angefangen zu reden.
The messenger must remove this person immediately. Don't just stand there.
Das Video habe ich vor ein paar Tagen.
I mean, I love that because they make it so clear that they call me a person because they probably weren't sure if I was a they or a them, you know. Remove this pose. I mean, come on. I know I've got this voice that I've got, but I'm definitely female. But they don't do it. It just shows it runs through everything. Every agenda runs through everything. And I have been reduced on the Hansard's transcript to interruption, which I like being, to be honest with you. So I think that makes clear what I actually think of them, because I don't want anyone to speak for me. I don't need them to speak for me. I don't need them to debate for me. I don't need them to assure me or tell me that, oh, don't worry, it's going to be safe and we'll make... No, I don't need any promises, assurances or guarantees that nothing bad's going to happen, because I know exactly where this is coming from. And I know that you are going to hear this more and more and more, but it's really important that people do know thine enemy and know their plan. This is above the level of nation. This is a globalist dictate handed down to every 193 member states of the United Nations. This is not something that petitioning our government is going to stop. Keir Starmer and every global leader basically is a World Economic Forum puppet, and Tony Blair is their demonic, evil henchman frontman. We should not tolerate this. And this is why sometimes I look back into 2020 and I see what people actually put up with. We were brutalised by the Metropolitan Police that stood around today, and you literally beat people with batons, you trampled them with your mounted police. A man died in Trafalgar Square. Nothing was said about that because you smashed him so hard to the ground that his head basically burst. You stormed the stage of Trafalgar Square, and in the CAD notes in my trial it said, even though there are women and children, arrest the organisers and storm that stage. You don't care about the people. And there will come a day that where I was just following orders will basically be like Nuremberg 2, but it's not going to be the same thing, because it's not going to be more government and political leaders holding you to account. It will be the people holding you to account. And I'm actually getting, you look, I'm talking, to you, to all of you police officers. They don't care. They do fucking care. Alright, they do. Because it is coming for you as well, and I'm sorry for my language there, guys. I'm sorry if there's children around. They do care, and they know that we are a threat. That's why they try to make protest impossible. They don't want these gatherings, and I look at some of the gatherings from 2020 when it was basically, allegedly, against the law and illegal to go out of your house more than 5 miles. I mean, how ridiculous was that? There was people out protesting, not wearing a mask, not following any of those orders and standing up to these people. Where is everyone gone? Where is everyone? You guys here are amazing. I'm so glad that you're here. But we are facing the biggest existential threat to humanity that we've ever faced. Where is everyone? I am going to call it as I see it. I see some faces that I recognise. I see quite a few faces I recognise. And you are wonderful people. Hello. But the point is, I'm not being funny, and I'm just, like I said, I've got no F's left to give now. That's where I'm at. I've been doing this for nearly 6 years. We have been fighting relentlessly for humanity and for our children. Where is everyone? Because it's not like it's in the actual headlines. And you know what's going on? Is this nonsense, divide and conquer. from people allegedly on our side, who are saying shit about other people who are allegedly on our side, and everyone listens to it. Trolls sit there online, and not just talking about me because I'm not the only one that gets it, but I've had enough. I'll be honest with you, I've completely had enough, because it has destroyed what was the greatest movement that the United Kingdom has ever seen, better than the United Kingdom. There was more people out in 2020 to 2022 moving together. Race, faith, ideology didn't matter. Standing up to the barbaric police, ready to face off with them. Do you remember being here on Whitehall? Stood face to face with the riot police. I want that back. I want to know that I'm standing next to someone who's willing to go as far as I'm willing to go. Because I have no F's left to give, and I'll say it how it is. And I think our next speaker actually is going to be, he's super sweet, so I got you all rolled up there. And anyway, our next speaker, he is someone who did speak out very, very early on. He is a surgeon, he's now a podcaster. I've got it mixed up, but, oh no, I did it wrong. But you can, no, okay, I'll do you instead. I don't mean that. Oh, Christ. Our next speaker, right, is from Italy. He has flown all the way from Italy to be here today. So that's how much he cares. That was actually quite a good segue, right? This man has had, he's like the male version of me in Italy, right? Over 100,000 people in the city of Rome, and he kept going, and he kept going, and he kept fighting. And this man, like I say, he is a real fighter. I actually met him in Vienna in November last year, wasn't it? And we got on really well because I think we're equally as feisty. But anyway, I want you to hear from this man because you actually have digital ID in Italy, don't you? Not entirely. Yeah, it's like, it's coming. It's coming. Just as it is everywhere else, because of course it's going to solve the problem with illegal migration, which is a 1.46% problem, right? In this country anyway, or across the United Kingdom. It's all lies. They're using fear and propaganda everywhere to bring this about, and Ricardo is acting on this, so I just want to give a massive round of applause for Ricardo Recess, guys.
Thank you, Fiona! Hi, London! Quanti italiani ci sono qui oggi? Fate casino, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15. We are all lions. Thanks for all. I'm Ricardo Recess, I'm activist and president of 100 Days by Lion. That's our program on YouTube broadcast. We started in 2020 for the COVID pandemic of psychedelic, because it was amazing what we see. We became a big, huge point of information in Italy, and our goal is to wake up people up. I was really tired to be ashamed. We were really tired to sleep while the system does what they want and control everything and call it, say it, fuck the system. We are totally disappointed to believe and hear your lies from people that totally doesn't care about us and you. Don't we have enough digital in our world? What we will leave to our kids? I'm here with my family and really mess up what's happening. We must fight. We have to work together, and I'm really proud to be a part of this big international team, and representing Italy for me is a goal, because I never thought 5 years ago to be here in London with Fiona, with David Icke, and with all of you. So thank you to be here. I know you love Italy, and I see that it's not in Italy like in London, divide et impera. True organization behind. It's not good, but doesn't matter. I'm sure you know it. This is not evolution. This is a satanic attack to the human race. Can you say it? When I heard about Pope Francis, do you remember Pope Francis? the best PR of COVID management. When I see my friends be killed from unable therapy, I see there's something not good or evil happening. We understand that in Italy was the first state to be involved in this situation because they know that in Italy they could do it. It's our turn to open the eyes of the people. I know that every people here knows what's happening, but all people around us are blind. They don't understand the problem and the fault. They sold out in the same politician that speak with us. I know that we are all awake, but our mission is to wake up all the people around us, the kids and the adolescents, the teens before, because the world that we gave them, it's our fault, it's not good. I know that they will never fuck us with digital ID, but maybe with the teens they could do it. So we have to be really on the pace. I don't will let them to be part of a matrix experience, because it's a matrix experience or a black mirror fucking authority society. I don't want that for them, and you know that we need it. So I would like to close my speech with a David Icke masterpiece. We became lions. We are all lions, and we are the dance of the moon and the sun on the earth. Don't forget this. Last thing I want to say, thanks a lot of you guys. Greetings from Venice, Italy, where I come, and it's a big honor for me to be a part of this great awakening revolution. Thanks all. Thanks Fiona for everything.
He is a feisty one like me, if you only knew him a little bit better. But I love it. Ricardo wanted to come here and he wanted to speak to you in London, and I really admire that spirit. I mean, I travel everywhere with my own money. I've been going up and down the UK for this particular campaign, speaking in Cardiff, Newcastle, Birmingham, Liverpool, back down to London, because I feel that strongly about this, knowing that this is it, this is the fight. It's over if we don't win this. But I have faith that we absolutely will, and I want you to hear from people who give fair warning and who gave fair warning. And I think one thing that we know is about the COVID jabs. Again, I mentioned that when Andrew Bridgen came to speak. But the next man is that surgeon that I was talking about, that is now a podcaster, that did warn about these harms. And we did try to tell people, we did try to inform people, many of you were out. And we know now that with the digital ID, it does not just mean a digital version of you on your phone. It's not just your credentials, your age, your face, and whatever. It's not just that, right? We need to scrap that now. It's not just a digital identification or a verification of you. It isn't. It's so much more than that. And in the UK, the Gov UK wallet's already rolled out. And one thing that's going to be on there is a vaccine passport. And I think we've seen that before. And just like we pushed back the NHS mandates, we pushed back these vaccine passports, but that was a trial. They've got the infrastructure, the technology, and we need to keep fighting back. So I think we need to hear from people like this. So please welcome to the stage, Doc Malik.
Hello everybody. Never done this before. Always a first. Right, before I start, I just want to acknowledge and thank Fiona for organising this. Thank you, Fiona. And also for inviting me to speak. She might regret that. Anyway, I'd also like to ask everybody if you can just spare £1 and donate to Fiona's Buy Me a Coffee, because she spent thousands on all of this. I think it would mean a lot to her. So thank you if you can do that. I'd also like to thank Phil Wiseman. I don't know where he is. There he is. Guys, this guy made the documentary, The Agenda. If you haven't watched it, watch it. And if you can, share it with everybody. It's a masterpiece. So folks, in another life, Doc Malik used to be a consultant orthopedic surgeon. I now identify as a fisherman, as you can see. But let's talk about digital ID. I know you've already heard quite a bit about digital ID. I'll just give you my spin. I look at all of you and I think there's not very many of us, right? We're on that march and we're thinking, bloody hell. But you know what? Rare things are precious. And you guys are precious. Remember when we walked past all those shops, Hamleys, coffee shops, and they're all there just getting on with their life. But you guys have travelled, you've sacrificed your day because you know how important this is. And we're not here to send a message to the politicians and to the government. We don't really care about them. We're sending a message to ordinary people out there on the streets, our neighbours, our friends, our families, our work colleagues, and we're telling them this is what freedom looks like. And this is what resistance to tyranny looks like. And that there are people who will resist the government's unconstitutional and unjust demands. But most importantly, we are sending a message to our children and our grandchildren. And that's to say that, you know what, back in 2025, there were people fighting for them. That's important. And if you don't think they won't know, they will know. Today, what we're seeing is a sacred attack. And I'm not just talking about our data, our privacy, or even our civil liberties. What is under attack is the very essence of what it means to be a human. Digital ID is being sold to us as a convenience, but it's not. It's not about safety, it's not about efficiency, and it's definitely not about the migrants. It's about control, total, permanent control. It's about a system designed to monitor you, rate you, restrict you, and ultimately own you. And here is the bitter truth. This is important. We cannot rely on our oppressors, the government, to police and restrain themselves. Just as I doubt we will ever see justice for the pandemic, the lies, the censorship, the psychological warfare that was used against humanity, the lockdowns, the financial ruin, and the mRNA COVID jabs. Just like we will never see justice for the great crimes of history, the world wars, the Holodomor, the genocides past and present, the false flags, 9/11, the Iraq war, Libya war, just to name a few. Those who commit the greatest crimes rarely face earthly justice. I'm sorry, that's the truth. And I have made peace with that. Because we don't really have a choice. You're either with them or fighting them. And you guys are fighting for freedom. And everyone else's. All these people walking past, in the shops, in the cafes, in the buses, they don't know it. But we do. Real liberation does not come from waiting for justice. It does not come from waiting for the guilty to be punished. It does not come from waiting for the truth to be finally admitted. And make no doubt, the perpetrators will offer you hopium. False hope, false saviors, false messiahs, a soothing lie, a disclosure, limited hangout, a distraction to keep the masses asleep, waiting for that disclosure, waiting for the hero who will save the day, waiting for the system to fix the crimes that it committed. This is not liberation. This is a captivity mindset, a slave mindset. I will not be a victim. I know that I am my own master, and no one and nothing will take that from me. So my friends, I'm telling you, we are in the midst of a spiritual war. Digital ID is not just a policy. It is not just an app. It is not just a database. It is the architecture of our enslavement. This is not about a Brit card. We already have digital IDs. It is here in many forms. But OneGov login will funnel us into one silo that will be married to the wallet, to programmable digital central bank currency, shared with private partners, corporations, banks and big tech. Add in a social credit score, and you'll finally have a gateway to unquestioned, uncontrollable tyranny. They want one wallet for all your credentials, your ID, your license, your benefits, your medical records, your vaccination status. Digital convenience, they say. It'll become digital default, and that default will be digital enslavement. And your consent means nothing when refusal will become impossible. Eventually, you won't be able to work, travel, buy, sell, access healthcare without that digital ID. And when access is denied and the computer says no, who are we going to complain to? Once your ID becomes digital and becomes a digital token, your life becomes data. Your behavior becomes data, and data becomes control. This is how freedom is lost, one token at a time, one compliance at a time. And you all know this, you do not comply out of tyranny. It does not work. So folks, I'm not saying, this is not surrender, this is resolve. This is resistance. We will fight on, not because victory is guaranteed, not because justice is promised, but because resisting tyranny is the only righteous path to take. There are numerous battlefields against humanity at present. Multi-generational, multi-pronged, across all spectrums, all around us. But the most important battlefield is within us. To stay human, to stay awake, to stay rooted in truth, to live in the light, to reflect the light, and to be the light. I will not let the architects of the digital tyranny, who by the way aren't those people, I will not let them darken my soul. My strength is in clarity. My strength is in conscience. My strength is in the refusal to be broken. If justice comes, great. If justice is delayed, we will stand. If justice never comes in this world, the truth remains unchanged. And so I say this with absolute conviction. I refuse to give them my soul. And while I wait for the world to catch up, so do you. You will not give up your soul. The government's plan for digital ID will fail if we simply refuse to comply. Tyranny will collapse the moment we refuse to obey. Darkness loses the moment we choose to walk in the light. So I say stand firm, I say stand proud, and I say stand unbroken and remain in the light. My friend Eddie passed me a note. I don't know where he is in the crowd, and I just want to read it. It's the last thing I'm going to say. Remind the people how they will feel when we succeed, and we will.
Not that excited? I'm not even going to bother introducing the next man. I'm just going to bring him straight out. This man, since 2021, I'm sorry, I think you probably all know who's in the doorway. It's good, right? I have no words, honestly. I listened to this man in 2020, and it was him that made me see that there was so much bullshit going on. And then I couldn't stop listening to him. And I've met him, and I've met his family, and he's a wonderful father, and he's a wonderful, wonderful human being that gives a shit. Really, really cares, and once again just wants humanity to prevail. I said I wasn't going to introduce him, but I'm going to. My favourite man in the world, that my father's gone, and if I could replace him, it would be with this man. But David Icke, everybody!
Bloody hell, here we are bloody again. I remember speaking up there just a few 100 yards away in Trafalgar Square during COVID, and here we are talking about digital ID. Well, that's COVID, that is, and this is digital ID. This is no. It's all part of a vast tapestry of human control, which I've been uncovering now for coming up 36 years, and people used to bloody laugh, but they laugh a lot less now, because the humorous, the ridiculous, the nutter is now unfolding before our eyes. And if we just stop and just consider what we call history, we will see that what is happening now is just an expression of what has always happened. Look through history. What is a massive common theme? That the few have always controlled the many. How is that possible? How is it possible for a relative handful in full knowledge of what they're doing to control and direct the lives of, we are told now, 8 billion people? Oh, they say it's not possible for a few to control the world. That's daft. Oh, really? Oh, really? So why has it always happened throughout human history? Because It's a very, very simple technique. Number one, you are the few and you want to control the many. If the many are united and in understanding of the agenda of the few, you have got no bloody chance. So, what you need to do, first of all, you need to get your target population to believe unquestioningly and rigidly whatever you can get them to believe. And you don't want them all believing the same for reasons I'll come to. You just want them to believe in a religion, in a political ideology, in a culture that is believed rigidly and without question. Why? Well, many reasons, but first of all this one. Once you have a rigid, unquestioning belief system, you are denying yourself the exploration and the seeking more understanding outside of your rigid belief. If you have a religious belief, you will not go beyond the walls of that belief, because you will no longer be whatever you call yourself if you start exploring into the infinity of possibility. So, number one, you get people to believe anything. They don't bloody care what you believe, so long as you believe it rigidly and without question. Because then they have put you in your own personal prison of the mind. And then, once they have these different belief systems, all focusing unquestioningly on what they have been manipulated to believe, you have the perfect situation to play off belief against belief, to divide and rule. And that combination of rigid belief and divide and rule has allowed the few to control the vastness of humanity throughout known human history. And people say, what's the solution? I'm not interested in solutions, because solutions invariably lead to other problems in need of still more solutions. What I'm interested in is the cause. What is the cause of the problem we wish to eliminate? Because if you remove the cause, you will remove the problem. What is the cause? The cause is founded on human perception. The whole conspiracy to enslave humanity is founded on human perception, because from perception comes behavior. You want to control human behavior, you control human perception. And the more little perceptions you have, the more divide and rule you have at your disposal. So, what we're talking about in relation to digital ID and the AI-human fusion is control of perception. Up to this point, they have had to manipulate perception by manipulating and controlling information. We form our perceptions from information received. It might be the 10 o'clock news, it might be a Facebook post, it might be a personal experience. But from that information, we form our perception, which dictates our behavior. People gave their minds away to the COVID hoax. They lined up and put their arms out, and they went meekly into their homes under essentially house arrest. Why did they do that across the world? They did it because their perceptions had been hijacked. There was a deadly virus, and this is the way to protect yourself. Throughout COVID, did not wear a sodding mask, did not social distance. If people wanted to walk around me, they could walk around me. I wasn't frightened of them because I knew the whole thing was a load of bollocks. And I must have hugged thousands of people during COVID, and I never had so much as a bloody sniffle. And yet, in fear, manipulated fear of a deadly virus, we had a tiny few people dictating the lives of billions. Why? Why? How? Because we do not have tyrannies because the population is forced by tyranny to do what they want. Fascism, communism, tyranny is never brought in by fascists, communists and tyrants. Why? There's never enough of them. Fascism, communism, tyranny is brought in by the population acquiescing and obeying fascists, communists and tyrants. That's how it comes about. So if we are looking for the cause of the problem and therefore looking for the means of eliminating the problem, then what we do is we take back control of our perceptions. We insist that evidence is supporting what we're told to believe. We question everything. We decide what we believe. We don't get our perceptions and our beliefs off the shelf from authority or anybody else. We individually decide what we believe. Number two, we respect each other in the sense of we respect everyone coming to their own conclusions without having an effort to force our conclusions on them. And then what we do as a collective is we stop obeying tyranny. We stop obeying the authority that has come through the ages, and my God, this goes back so long, that's come through the ages to current times, more and more and more, imposing the will of the few on the many globally. We have to stop obeying authority. We have to stop cooperating with our own enslavement and the enslavement of our children and grandchildren. We have to come together and put down the fault lines of divide and rule. I don't care what religion you have. I don't care what political ideology you have. I don't care what cultural belief you have. I care about focusing all attention upon that which is seeking to control us all. This is not a force, a global network I call the global cult. This is not a network that is targeting Christians and targeting Muslims or targeting this, that or whatever. Their focus is to play us off against each other so that we can all be controlled, while we can be divided so they, the few, can rule. That is the answer to removing the cause of the problem. Put down your irrelevant divisions of fault lines that divide us, and then we can look symbolically and see that all along the same hands have held the strings attached to all of us. That's the realization that will bring this down, because it is simple mathematics. 8 billion people cannot be controlled by a handful unless the billions give their power away to the few. Okay. Starmer, Mr. Puppet Man, Starmer, they're all puppet men in that, and puppet women in that house down the road. He comes out, he says, we've had a discussion and we've decided that digital ID is coming in. Okay, so where's your power, Mr. Stammer? Where is your power? Your power is only in human acquiescence of the population to your diktat and decision. If enough people say, we're not doing it, up yours, we're not having it. When enough people say that, when enough people do that, we'll see where the power has been all along. Ironically, it's never been with the few. It's always been with the many. But for reasons I've discussed and talked about here, the many have been manipulated into forgetting that basic fact. So here we are, because of that, we are staring in the eyes of the dragon to see a digital AI human fusion dystopia, the like of which this world has never seen in known human history. And what is that dystopia? It is to infiltrate the human mind with artificial intelligence. It's already happening. To the point where we no longer think our thoughts anymore. We no longer have our emotional responses anymore. We have theirs via AI. And anyone who thinks, and unfortunately some still do, that Elon Musk is your friend, he is pushing and pushing and pushing while telling you here what you want to hear. He's pushing this AI dystopia with all his mates, and you only have to go to Starmer down the road. Who is Starmer's handler? Tony Blair. Who is Tony Blair's handler? Larry Ellison, the media and AI billionaire. Supposedly Musk is the richest man in the world. Supposedly Ellison is the second richest. And they have your best interests at heart. We are looking now, in a few years, if we don't unite and don't put down these fault lines of division at a level of control that beggars belief and imagination, where, as Ray Kurzweil, the Google futurist kind of executive who is articulating this, it will be great to be fused with AI. What has he said a few years ago? He said that by 2030, we are coming into 2026. By 2030, humanity will be attached to artificial intelligence, or it will have started, already has. And from then on, he said, his words, not mine, humanity, or AI, will do more and more of human thinking until human thinking is negligible. That's what we are staring in the face. And this digital ID, with a digital currency dictating everything in our lives, what we can do and what we can't do, along with the AI human fusion, is a level of dystopia that is beyond the imagination. We still have the chance, because 8 billion cannot be controlled by a few unless the few acquiesce, or the many acquiesce to the few. It's not possible. So we can bring this down essentially overnight if enough people say we are not doing what you demand. And it's the division that stops that happening. So people want solutions. People want to remove the cause of the problem. Then it's in our hands to do so. And that means human race, for the first time in known human history, get off your freaking knees! No more! United, we are a lion. Divided, we are sheep. We have the answer. But are we going to take it? That's the question. Because united, we are the lion. And it's time that the lion that has been there sleeping throughout human history, that the lion sleeps no more. It's time, long past the time, and I say to anyone across the world who sees this, it's time for the lion to roar! Thank you.
make some noise for David Icke. Come on, he's been right for 35 years. Exactly, he just doesn't get enough credit, right? He's so silenced and so suppressed because he's so right. And everyone needs to start listening to him, all the men in yellow back there, all the coppers standing in their twos. Why do they stand in twos? What is that about? You can't stand on your own? Maybe that's part of the problem. Anyway, I'm not a comedian, but I like to think I am quite funny sometimes. I don't know if you have gathered, I do not care anymore. This is the fight of our lives, but also we need to lighten it sometimes. So I'm going to welcome onto the stage, doing something different for you all, a wonderful, wonderful woman, a wonderful, wonderful free speech absolutist and comedian, Abby Roberts.
Hello, London! Woo! Give me a cheer if you're under 30. Fuck you! With your dreams and clothes that fit. So are we all okay? Yeah? Thanks, great to be here. Really honoured to stand here before you 5 years into the shit show, the utter shit show that the world has become. You know, I've been through so much the last 5 years that I've realised that in certain lights I've started to resemble Susan Boyle. I don't know if I'll do it for you. I dreamed a dream in time gone by, when hope was high and life worth living. There's been a murder. Great, thanks. Thanks to the tyranny for making me look like Susan Boyle. So much. Oh, I mean, give me a cheer if your name's John. Right. Lovely Johns over here. Give me a cheer if your name's Sarah. Yes. A few Sarahs over here. Give me a cheer if your name's Chris. Lots of Chris's. But you know what? You're all individuals. You're not a group. You've all got different taste in music, politics, different faith. And that is what digital ID, difficult to say when you're a bit pissed, ZZID, very hard. That's what they're trying to eradicate. The individual, the sovereign individual under God. We've got, thank you very much, heckled, never been heckled by before. Lovely though, first time for everything. And we've got the other march over here, protest, talking about Christ as King, put the Christ back into Christianity. Let me tell you something, and I'm a Christian, right? I love it, it's a bit surreal following David Icke. And then while David's talking, hearing away in a manger, no crib for a bed, the little Lord Jesus lay down his sweet head. The cattle are lowing. Something, I forgot the fucking words. La 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 la. Oh, Merry Christmas, everyone. Two can play at that fucking game. Do you know what I mean? It's very surreal though. It's like, and the digital ID, blah blah blah. But do you know something? Fuck off. Do you know what? If this stuff goes as far as I think it's going to go, you won't be allowed to be a Christian. You will not have the freedom of faith. You will not be able to have your own faith and your beliefs without the fear that the powers that be, the government and the state and the people above the state, the supranationals, you will not feel free to be a Christian, to have political beliefs of your own, free speech. And that is why this particular protest, march, is in defence of freedom of speech and the freedom to be a sovereign individual under God. I know there are many people here who are not Christians, and that's fine. But ultimately, what they're trying to do with this stuff is, imagine we're all linked. We're all linked. Imagine a little string of gossamer, the finest thread. We are all linked to the transcendent. All of us, whether we believe or not. And the people right at the top, whoever you want to call them, WEF, WHO, CIA, FBI, all the three letters, they've got a huge pair of scissors and they are attempting to cut that divine thread. And we must not let them do it. It is existential. It is part of who we are. We are not numbers. In fact, I'd like us to all say that together. I'd like you to say it after me. I am not a number. I am a human being. And once more, I am not a number. I am a human being. We are flesh and blood and bone and heart and passion and grief and anger and fury. We are not cattle. We are not cattle to be funneled into a fucking pen by people who do not understand the transcendent, do not understand that every single person here, and I love you all, I can't see your faces very well because I'm a bit short-sighted, but you beautiful, beautiful people, every single one of you has a divine spark, a divine flame, and those people are trying to blow it out. The icy wind of tyranny, tyranny even. The icy wind of tyranny. Went a bit Irish there. The icy wind of tyranny trying to blow the divine spark out, and we must not allow them. And you know something? It's all connected. My lovely nephew said, "What's wrong with digital ID? Auntie Abby, explain." And I said, well, like the lockdowns, like the masks, and like the injections, they all have one thing in common. They seek to dehumanize us. Dehumanize us. Dehumanize us. The human race, being a human being, is beautiful. It's one of the greatest gifts that God has given us. The freedom to speak unmuzzled. The freedom to move about and to hug each other and love each other without having injections, state-sanctioned injections. I knew the evil, the utter evil, was upon us when the Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby, do you remember when he said, with the vaccine rollout, the so-called vaccine, the gene therapy, he said to love one another, and this is a direct quote by the way, to love one another as Jesus said, get vaccinated, get boosted. Now, I'm not a biblical scholar, but I'm pretty fucking sure that Jesus Christ never said that in one of his sermons. That's when I knew, obviously the evil that we'd witnessed from 2020 onwards, we knew, didn't we? We knew that it was something really, really, really terrible. And that is their aim, is to get us all into, Saved by the Bell. The aim is to get us all into this pen, funnel us into this pen. And I want to go back to the vaccines, because that's something, which really makes me rage. So aside, my greatest wish, my dearest wish, other than them not to succeed, with digitising us, taking the analogue. We are analogue, everyone. You know, great records. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. You know the crack in the voice, the urethra. One thing, the cracks, the beautiful crack in the voice is because we're analogue, and they are trying to put digital on top of us, and for that it'll never fucking work. It'll never work because we're not designed that way. So as David Icke rightly said, they will fail. As David Curtin said, they will fail. I was very disappointed. You know, I've been in the music business. I'm a massive fan of country music. Dolly Parton, Dolly fucking Parton. When she peddled the COVID vaccines, COVID injections. I've got a little version of what she did. You want to hear it? Here you go. Okay. Vaccine, 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 vaccine. I'm begging you, please just get the jab. It may cause blood clots in your legs and fry your brain and leave you dead, but I don't give a fuck, cause I've been paid. What an absolute and Elaine Page, where is it? Vaccine, you couldn't pay me enough money. You couldn't pay me enough money to become a boot-licking cunt for Big Pharma. You literally... A blank check would not make me want to participate in global democide, because that's what it is. We mustn't forget that part, by the way, everyone. It's all linked, you know, all linked together. This tyranny, this authoritarianism, this desire to make human beings into serfs. If Stalin had the technology, don't know how much you know about your Russian history. I happen to speak Russian. Добрый день, как дела? Хорошо. Anyway, that's a side issue. If Stalin had the technology that we do now, he would do exactly the same thing, right? With lockdowns, with muzzles, with vaccines, with digital ID. Exactly the same thing. Do you know there's no word in Russian for privacy? There is no word in Russian. Because Stalin, the Bolsheviks and Stalin took it out of the dictionary. So there's no concept of being private. Mao, Chairman Mao, again, similar thing. He would do the same thing to us. So, my nephew, this is how I want to kind of wrap up my, I don't know what it is, speech / stand-up. It's very difficult, because I'm talking about hugely important things, you know. My nephew said, well, what's the solution, Auntie Abs? What's the solution? You know, because we hear a lot about the doom, gloom. Oh my God, we're all going to have to be fucking stamped and, you know, have barcodes like tins of soup. You know, go through, blip, blip, just all like being blipped through the supermarket. And this is what I think is the solution. I'm going to go back to our Russian friends living under Stalin. They found a way to navigate under the tyranny, through it. They navigated through it with catacombs, with their faith, with creativity, with art. So think, digital means machine. It means not human. And I think that we need an analogue revolution. I think we need, in all seriousness, so if anyone wants to think about what they invest in, paper, books. Get your children, any young people, read books, write books, paint, do comedy, write songs, listen to music, preferably on vinyl and CDs. You know, this is what we need to preserve, is the analogue. And that way, I think because if they're going to do it, I don't mean to sound defeated, because despair is a mortal sin, everyone. So when you speak to children, give them hope. You know, living in hope is about meaning, finding meaning in life. You know, Václav Havel, the Czechoslovakian dissident, you know, who was tortured and imprisoned under the Soviets, under the communists. He said that hope is about meaning. Hope is not about the consequences and that everything is going to be okay. The act of hoping is living with meaning and truth. And that's why I think all of us, maybe not people here today, but in general the world has lost touch with meaning, with purpose. What is it to be human? What is it to be human? And not constantly on social media creating our own prison. Crikey, I've said quite a lot. I hadn't even really planned to say all that. But does that make sense to people? So what I'm saying to you is even, by the way, the Russians, Putin has just tightened his digital ID. I love Russians, by the way. I speak fluent Russian. I love the Russian people, but Putin has tightened regulations to be similar to China, and so is Australia, New Zealand. This is a global coup. This is a global communist coup. So what I'm saying to you is, if they do what they're going to do, then we have to think outside the box. Like our wonderful Russian dissidents, Czech dissidents, people that lived in East Germany, you know, with their Papieren Sie bitte, you know, the old films. Papers please, Papieren bitte, Russian, Bumashki pожалуйста. We do not want to become a papers please society, because that is dehumanizing and that is not what we are. So, I think I've probably said enough. You know, you've had David Icke on before me, and then some girl with crazy hair has come on and talked about Russian history. God bless you all, and have a very, very, very Merry Christmas. And do not despair. Do not despair. God bless you all. Thank you very much for having me.
We'll stand here so people can hear us.
I wanted to do something a little bit different today, guys. We've only got 3 more speakers left, and I appreciate you hanging around. I know it feels like 9 PM, but it's only half 4. So I just had a rant to someone on camera, and I don't know who that is. What was your name? Is he still there, the guy that just spoke to me? No, right, okay, whatever. I'm just going to say what I said to that guy on camera. About protests and about people that sit at home and actually just do nothing all day long. They just do nothing. They just talk on Facebook and just do nothing. And Facebook is a cesspit. And they just talk and talk and talk and talk on Facebook and do videos and say things like, mandatory is not law. If you think you're getting out of this on a technicality, you really don't know what the problem is. And that is the biggest problem. And I don't want to slate people's opinions and stuff. And people talk about common law in the realm of England and blah, blah, blah. It is above that level. Nobody is going to get out of this when they sit at home chatting about mandatory not meaning law and blah, blah, blah. Because look what they did during COVID, and that was just a test. Look at the jab, that was just a test. With the mask, it was all a test. So I'm actually getting quite sick and tired of people sitting on their asses doing nothing, because protest works. That's why they're doing what they've done today. They've put Israel-funded protests right behind us to scream and shout and make noise all day, to disrupt it all day. They've done it to divide, to conquer, on social media, so we're going, oh, which one are you going to go to? I'm not going to go because there's going to be trouble because everyone's chicken shit. I'm actually really fucking sick of it, to be honest with you. But anyway, I'm going to stop ranting because I'm inspired by somebody, and I said to her the other day, she knows I'm not lying, she's 21 years old, and I've watched her for the last year, and I think this woman, sorry, I don't want to call you a girl, I feel bad. I'm 40, she's 21, but she's amazing, and I know that she is the future, because I've watched her grow in just 1 year. I have seen her just, your mind is incredible, and you're inspiring, And I am looking forward to seeing her grow, because I think, sometimes we need to pass the baton on in some way. But this 21-year-old independent journalist is absolutely incredible. Please give a massive round of applause for Emma Dunwell, please. Emma speaks freely.
Hi everyone. This is definitely a first for me. I'm usually behind the camera, not in front of it, so I'll try not to keep it too long. We're all cold. It's getting dark now, so yeah, I mean, one of the things that they've managed to convince everyone, well, not us here, is that this is for illegal immigration. They want you, oh, here we go, can you hear me? There we go. They want you to willfully hand over your rights because you're so scared and so fearful of the mass sways of illegals that they're purposefully allowing into this country. We know that it's all a lie. This was purposefully orchestrated in order to bring about digital ID. We all know that by now. And we all know there's no difference. Labour, Conservative, they're all the same. They are all puppeted by the same people. But one thing that concerns me that they've managed to convince people is now to advocate for the exit of the ECHR. Now I know, after hearing about so many terrorists that have avoided deportation because their child doesn't like foreign chicken nuggets, and they tell you that it's always because of the ECHR, you start to dislike that document. But the ECHR allows us to have the values that we hold dear. Without the ECHR, citizen journalism wouldn't exist. I quote the ECHR articles sometimes when I'm out in the field. The right, Article 11, the right in order to be able to observe and report on a protest without the police arresting you for filming them. It's the ECHR that allows me to film the police. You can't do that in China. I don't even think you can do that in France. These are the things that they want us to give up, and they want us to do it with a smile on our faces. So, if there's one thing that I will say, because I really don't want to keep you guys too long, I know that the days run long, but if there's one thing that I will say is if they want our biometrics, and if they want our history, our medical history and everything, then they can come and get it over our cold, unverified, dead bodies, and not a moment before. Just to leave you all is, we all know that I guarantee each one of us has a couple of family members at home that still call us skeptics. Go and tell them to look at the Canada's truckers protest in Canada in 2022, what Trudeau did, freezing the banks of anyone who donated any more than $20 to the GoFundMe, the GovUK One Login, the trial that none of us asked for. And if they want to keep bringing this in, then we will have to keep showing up day after day, week after week, cold, light, dark, warm, whatever. We will be here saying not in our name, not with our faces, and not on our watch. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you. See, I told you. And she's going to keep getting better and better and better. Now the next man that's speaking, I mean, he's probably going to say some of the most powerful stuff you're going to hear. I mean, second's David Icke, no offence. But the facts inside this man's head, what he's done, his journalism, his research, his geopolitical analysis. This is a man that we all need to listen to. But we've got one more speaker after that, by the way. I've got one more. So he's second to last, and I need you all to listen and pay attention to him. He was meant to have something on the screen, but we can't do that. I'm really sorry the video's broken. Okay? Is that right? So I can't show you. No, don't want to reset. It takes 20 minutes to reset. You're not going to wait for that. Anyway, I want you to welcome to the stage for the first time, because he doesn't do this, he doesn't do public speaking, so I want you to make loads of noise. And you're a bit sparse, guys. Can you kind of come in a little bit with each other? Can we kind of move in a bit? Come on, move in, get friendly. You know, no one's got a virus, have they? All right? Hug each other, do you know what I mean? Get some sage out. Anyway, please welcome to the stage, give him a massive round of applause, because this is the first time he's done it, Ian Davis.
Hello, how are you? I'm not used to this.
But this is really important, and the reason that I'm here, I don't generally do protests because I don't believe in protesting against something that you can't change, which is the government. But this is really important because we need to stand against digital ID. Digital ID has been in plan, the plan has been in place since 2014, at least, when ID 2020 came together and decided that we were all going to be subjected to digital ID. ID 2020 is a public-private partnership. It is a partnership between, essentially, the United Nations, a load of private companies like Microsoft, like Block, like Hewlett-Packard Foundation, like the Rockefeller Foundation. These are the people that are driving the agenda for digital ID. The government has got nothing to do with digital ID rollout. The government is doing what it is told. The government is just an enabling partner. It is subservient to the powers that direct it. Keir Starmer couldn't tie his own shoelaces. Keir Starmer is a trilateralist commission representative. He is not a representative of the British people in any way, shape or form. He is doing what his masters tell him to do. Now, he has presented to us the ridiculous and preposterous Brit card. Brit card is a digital ID product. It is a vendor-agnostic digital ID product. It is not digital ID. Digital ID is a network of interoperable digital ID products. If we are going to stand against digital ID, rejecting BritCard, appealing to the government not to roll out BritCard makes no difference whatsoever. It doesn't change anything. If we are going to stand against digital ID, then what we need to do is not comply with the entire system. Now that is going to be difficult because we are already subject to the system. We've all got driving licenses. We've all, probably most of us have got passports. We've all got some aspects of digital ID. Your driving licence has got a machine-readable zone on it. You have got your biometric face is on your driving licence. The government has passed legislation to ensure that it can hoover up your biometric digital ID face. 55 million drivers are going to be entered into the digital ID system. Now we can stand against it through mass non-compliance, but we have to be serious in thinking about what that will entail, because what it will not entail is voting for another political party. It will not entail us choosing not to use one login, not choosing not to have the BritCard. These things are very, very important. But in order for us to not comply, what we have to do is, I'm afraid there's no way around this, we have to change our lifestyles. We have to think about how we are going to survive, and I mean that seriously, because if we have digital ID, what will come very, very shortly after that is programmable digital money. And when those two things are linked together, when you become a tokenized human being on a universal ledger controlled by organisations like the Bank for International Settlements, it really won't really matter what decisions we make about politics when they control what we buy, where we buy it, who we buy it from, where they control how long our money continues to exist, when they put time limits on it, when they geo-fence where we can spend our money. If you're thinking about the concept of the 15-minute city, the 15-minute city is not going to put a wall around you. Your money and your digital ID will be geo-fenced. Now this sounds like insane dystopian stuff were it not for the fact that the United Nations, the Bank for International Settlements, and all the global corporations that are involved in rolling this out have written documents about it. They've published documents about it. This is not secret, what I'm talking about. This is public domain knowledge. And we need to share that with as many people as possible. We have to get this information out. People need to know what they are being sucked into. And it's not got anything to do with the government. This is a global project. Now, when SDG 16.9 was announced, what the UN said was that they wanted the world to have, everybody in the world had a right, they said, had a right to have an identity, a legal identity from birth. The UN is an utterly duplicitous organisation. The UN is basically commanding a global centralised public-private partnership. The UN in 1998 admitted that it no longer served the interests of governments but of business. This is the network, the global network, that is trying to control us. And it is the global network that, believe it or not, we have to defeat. But we can defeat it if we do not comply. If we do not go along with their plans, they won't work. Why do you think they spend so much time and so much money trying to convince us to do what they want us to do? They do this because they fear us. We are the thing that they wish to control, because we are the people who can stand against them and deny their authority, their claimed authority. We can do it, but we need to be serious about how we are going to do it. It's just the small things that we do. We don't have to use our cards when we buy something. We can use cash. We don't have to use store cards when we get a better deal. When they roll out, as they will, programmable digital money, it will come with all kinds of benefits. You'll be able to get products cheaper, it will be easier to buy things, you'll get benefits, you'll get better interest rates, you'll get all the bells, all the whistles. That's how they will sell it. But it is a slave system. It is a system of slavery. They want to take away our agency. They want to make us their programmable tokens on a unified ledger. Now, there are companies around the world, Microsoft, Palantir, Oracle, that are fully openly admitting what they are doing. Larry Ellison from Oracle said that we will all be on our best behaviour because they, meaning Oracle and his business partners, Larry Ellison's business partners, for whom Tony Blair is a bought and paid for puppet, will be watching everything we do. Are we really going to allow that? Are we really going to allow that? Right. So what we need to do, if we are not going to allow it, is fight back through every peaceable and lawful means at our disposal. And the first thing we have to do is not comply. Not comply. Ever. We don't comply with authoritarian diktats from global corporations. They don't own us. The concept that they are trying to foist upon us is that they do own us. And if we cross that Rubicon, if we do go over onto the dark side of what we might call the technocratic dark state, if we do that, then they will own us. Seriously, they will own us. We will be products. We will be tokenized assets to be traded globally. our data to be harvested. Us, human beings, reduced to digits on a bank's balance sheet. We can't afford to do that. And that means that we have to be serious about how we stand against this. It's going to mean sacrifice. It's going to mean a bit of pain. It's going to mean a bit of hardship. But if we stand up now, then we will not be condemning our children to slavery. If we don't stand up now, we will be condemning our children to slavery. No, none of us, and I know none of you here, and the reason that you're here is because you know that, and you're not prepared to do it. Now we need to, after this wonderful event that's been put on by Fiona, and very thanks to her for doing this, because it's come at a lot of personal cost to her. What matters is that when we go away from here and we go back to our homes and our communities, is that we tell as many people as we can about this. We need to organise in our communities and get this message out. We need to tell friends, loved ones, family. We need to tell everybody we can about the reality of what is happening, because we're not going to hear it on the BBC, we're not going to hear it from the government. The government is lying to us, it's lied to us constantly, and it is lying to us at the moment about the nature of digital ID, because what they are selling as digital ID is not digital ID. It is an interoperable network. Companies like Palantir, the government have already bought the software. Palantir Gotham makes what they call disparate databases. So if you think about the database that the DVLA has got with your driving licence, and the database that your commercial bank has got with your bank card, those databases are not linked. Government has already bought Palantir Gotham, which it hasn't mentioned to anybody, which makes those databases interoperable. So now your driving licence is linked to your bank card. And when they bring in digital programmable money, that is the end of freedom. We can't afford to let that happen. So, I have brought the tone right down. We've had some great people speaking, but we do need to be serious about this. We really do. This is not a joking matter, I'm afraid. That doesn't mean we can't have a laugh, and it doesn't mean we can't have a bit of fun. We don't have to have miserable lives. I mean, what do we need to have a decent quality of life? We just need friends, family, love, a few beers maybe, a bit of a laugh. That's all we need. We don't need all this shit that they want us to swallow. And we're not going to swallow it, are we? Right. Okay. Well, thanks very much. Cheers.
See, first time public speaking like this, I think that was pretty epic, and that information, and I'm gutted guys, the video is broken. I've got to say this to the camera so no one thinks that I've done anything to sabotage it, but we did have Catherine Austin Fitz and Mike Eden on video, and I am so sorry that we don't have them, but we will get them put out for you, because the amazing Phil Wiseman of Oracle Films is here filming us today, so this will all be, give a round of applause for Phil Wiseman of Oracle Films. I love making it nervous. So this is our last speaker of, it's like it's 10 p.m, but it's not. Our last speaker for today. I want to thank you all for coming out, and I don't want you to leave just after the next one walks off stage, because I've got something planned and I'm probably going to embarrass myself forever, but I actually don't care, because I agree with Ian, we have to have some happiness, but we do have to take stuff seriously. So anyway, don't leave after this one, but we have up next an amazing man who's been on the front line fighting for truth for 20 years. He is the founder of 21st Century Wire and a co-host at UK Column, and your headline speaker this evening, Patrick Henningsen. some noise.
Get warm, everybody. Start hugging each other. Listen, a lot's been said tonight. A lot's been said. Great things have been said. There's plenty of things that we need to do. Got a to-do list now. But the thing you really need to understand about this issue is that the digital ID system is already live. It's already live. They're sharing data between programs and departments. Your data, your NHS data, your health data, your sexual health data. Just imagine. This is already happening.
Don't forget the Glasgow Rangers!
It was implemented by the last two governments. And this is the government that's going to take the ball over the goal line. If we let them take it over the goal line. But what's the lesson? What's the lesson there? This is not a left or right issue. It's not a Labour or Tory or Reform or whatever issue. This is quite clearly the situation we're facing is an up and down issue. It's the top versus everybody else below them. Okay? That is the paradigm that we find ourselves in 2025. It's a very serious problem that we're going to face. We are the last generation, potentially, and I hope that's not the case, but we're the last generation to have privacy. Just imagine. We're the last generation to have basic freedoms, right to privacy, right to our things, our documents, our data, personal information. You're being tracked with facial recognition, not just in public, but in retail stores, everywhere you go. This is being used to monitor workers working in factories to make sure that they're spending enough time on the floor. That's happening now. This has already been implemented. This system, the digital ID system, pulls all of that together, consolidates everything. This is insane and being sold that it's going to make your life better, more convenient. Because that's all we need is more convenience. We need to save 5 minutes going through ports of entry, as if that's going to make a big difference in our life. Or it's being rammed through to keep children safe on social media. I've got a radical idea. Why don't parents just not let their kids have smartphones before the age of 15? Why should we have to lose all of our rights to privacy because parents can't parent their children or keep them from spending their whole life on a smartphone or on social media? I know parents that have done it successfully, and guess what? Their kids graduated at the top of their class, and they're going into the best universities. They didn't miss out on anything. I didn't have it. Most of you didn't have it as kids. Did you miss out on anything, really, by not being glued to a smartphone for the first 15 years of your life? But they're using this to take all of our rights away. And Ian and others made a very good point. This agenda is being driven by transnational corporations. They tell government what to do because they are buying all of our politicians through campaign donations. In America, super PACs. These companies, Palantir, Microsoft, Google, and many others. Amazon's hosting all of these programs. Okay? And the owners of those companies, the billionaire class, these people are so much at the center of the military, the defense industry, the surveillance industry, all of them. And these happen to be the same billionaires that are funding the anti-immigration political movements in Europe. And that's interesting because that issue, immigration as a crisis, is being used by this government to justify the implementation of a digital ID. We have to start connecting the dots. And here's another thing. All of the major migration flows into Europe are a direct result of NATO military interventions in Syria, in Yugoslavia, in Libya, in Central Asia and Afghanistan, and what you're seeing now in Gaza. Okay? These are the same people. These are the same people. They're creating the problem, they're managing the public reaction, they're buying off the politicians, and they're providing the solution. And they're going to profit off it like nobody has ever seen before. We now have a trillionaire class on the event horizon of this issue. So we need to understand, these are all the same people. This is what's happening. We're being manipulated on a level that's never been seen before. The wealth gap is something extraordinary today. We're getting into medieval times now in terms of the wealth gap of the peasant class. This is where we're headed. And understand that whether it's COVID, the crisis, or the immigration crisis, or a war, it will be some crisis. COVID was the dry run. Now imagine lockdowns, closing, grounding airplanes and flights, ports of entry, based on a war now. And these governments are talking up a war. The last time I spoke against the NATO interventions and proxy wars, just down here on Whitehall, they were flying Ukrainian flags up here along the Foreign Office, believe it or not. And at that point, you're thinking we're really living in Alice in Wonderland territory. So it will be a crisis that will be used to ram this thing home in its final push. And what you need to understand is, don't fall for it. Do not fall for it. We've seen what happened during the last thing. The pandemic that wasn't, okay, that was a dry run. Imagine with nuclear weapons being used, what they're going to do in terms of international crisis, international lockdown. And then if you're against that, that means that you are threatening national security. You don't produce your digital ID, no pass, no go. So understand, that's what we're facing. So people, be aware, be cognizant of these things, and look past the headlines. Look past the fear narratives, and understand what game is being played. And they're not asking for your consent. They're not asking for permission. They might ask for your forgiveness later, but by then it'll be too late. So it's incumbent on all of us to do what we can to get informed, stay aware of the issues, and start talking about this with our friends, family, peers at work. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas.
Okay, so I didn't want you to feel like you missed out on anything, you know, Christmas caroling over there. So I do want to end on a high, and it is that time of year, and I've never done this before, and I've never embarrassed myself so much. But I am going to sing a little song, and I can't sing, so it's going to be terrible. But if you know the words, do sing along with me, because this is my favourite song. Are they ready, for the screen people to let him have the sound? Yeah. Do I look ridiculous? No, I look alright, thanks. Do I look ridiculous? Am I being stupid, or am I trying to have some fun? Have you got those little candles that they've been giving out? If you've got them, can you switch them on underneath? Got little lights on, switch it on. And, you know, hold it up in the air and let's get cheesy. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, this has been my favourite song since I was a kid. And I think it must mean something, because we know that one of the things that they want to do with digital ID is conscription, which is why they've lowered the voting age, or lowering. And they want to bring in conscription. And I think this song, it means something. And I think I liked it when I was 2 years old for a reason. And I'm sure all the cops are laughing at me now. But where is Simon? There's Simon. So I've said a lot about the police today, and to be honest, guys, I mean it. You know, most of you. I absolutely mean it. But there's only one Met police officer that I have ever actually genuinely, truly liked, and for the last nearly 6 years, I know that he cares, and I know that he's a good person. And when I was saying that there's good people in politics, there is also good men and women in the Metropolitan Police who do listen, who do care, and who do want us to be able to exercise our rights. And that man is Simon, who's police liaison, so I actually really want to thank you, Simon. I'm going to get so much hate and trolling for this, and I really don't give a shit. But I think you're brilliant, and you made me cry earlier, because we actually fell out proper over this shit. We had a proper falling out. I fucking blocked you. And I told you effing this and effing that. I don't know why I'm like not actually swearing. But I like you, Simon, and every single other copper stood around could learn a lot from you, because I do know that you care and I do appreciate you. I don't get how much I get fucking trolled for this. I really do think you're a good human being, and I know that you agree with us deep down. And I just thank you. And anyway, so I'm gonna stop boring people. I'm gonna fucking sing. And please, support me in this, because I can't sing, okay? I just want to... I don't want you to feel like you're missing out, like I said on the Christmas caroling behind us. So yeah, here we go. Loud. Loud. You're going to have to start it again. Loud.
Man, it's very cold out here in the snow marching.
I'm not being funny, but I could have done that myself. I also, whilst my team are up here on the stage, they never usually get the thanks that they deserve. These are the guys on your front line. They have been on your front line. These two especially have been on the front line for the last 5 years. 5 years, Catherine and Cheska. Cheska's my right-hand woman. She leads on that megaphone and she walked backwards the entire time. And I just want to thank everyone. Oh, Abby's up here. Abby's brilliant. Love you, Abby. We all love Abby. And Angel, Chris, Catherine, Beverly, Wayne, who joined us brilliant today. Duran, hungry like the wolf. Fuck yeah. Chloe and Moni. These people never get the thanks they deserve, so can you give a massive round of applause to my amazing team. In the orange hoodies good. I designed them myself and I picked the colour. And when they were first told they'd be wearing orange hoodies, they were like, what the fuck? And I was like, no, believe me, it'll work. And it really, really does. But I want to thank you all for coming. And if you want to stay and have a little boogie, because what's that condition, Simon? What's that condition? Because now Tommy's stopped, I'm going to have a party, I don't care, I'm going to make the most of this stage. I'm £6,000 in debt because of this stage. £6,000, but you know what, it was worth it. I'm going to make the most of it. What was the condition, Simon? Simon, what time is it? 6 o'clock? Alright, I think we should bang up some Christmas tunes and just have a party. Alright, and make sure you get it loud and play the next one. Does anyone else want to actually come up and sing? Say what? Anyone? He's doing it!
Ja, ab zum Flughafen. Also, macht's gut. Ciao.